Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to Greg Doucette and Erick Janicki ranking chest exercise. So as you guys know, I'm doing a bit of a series, which technically I got the idea of this said series from Greg Doucette, where I give you my top 3 best and 3 worst exercises for each muscle group. Still partway doing that, but I saw this video from Greg Doucette and Erick Janicki where they ranked chest exercises and they gave them a rating to A to F. So I thought I'd comment on it and give you my own opinion on it, and just let me know. Just letting you guys know, this is personally my opinion on these exercises. And I'm going to be going over their opinion and seeing if we agree, if we disagree, and whatnot. No hate towards these guys. I actually really like them and watch them a lot. So let's just see what they got to say.
The barbell bench press.
A+. This is the best chest exercise you could ever do by a land mile. Don't listen to this guy. You got to be bench pressing. Bench press harder than last time. You want the titties, you got to bench press.
And so I 100% agree with Greg on this. Bench press, it's the king of all lifts. It's going to target your chest. And in my opinion, even though in my chest ranking video, I didn't rank the bench press number 1 for building muscle in your chest, I did rank it number 3. But if I had to pick one chest exercise for the rest of my life, it would be the bench press, because it's also the best for strength. Not the best for hypertrophy, but strength, and overall across strength and hypertrophy, I do think is the best. So great exercise for your chest. Definitely would recommend the bench press.
The bench press for me is going to get a D grade. D for bodybuilding purposes.
Okay. Some of you are probably surprised, but I can kind of understand the logic of why Erick thinks it's a D. So for me, it's an A. But if you do it incorrectly and you're ego lifting, which is what Erick says, and if you don't use a controlled slow negative and you're just trying to lift as much weight as you can, then yes, it is a D grade. But if you do it properly, which most of you probably aren't, to be fair, because you're just trying to be like, hey, look guys, I can bench 400 pounds. Like no. So to his point, if you do it incorrectly, I do agree, and I think it's a D. But overall, if you do it right with a slow negative, you pause the weight, it can be an A exercise.
Let's go with Smith machine, either incline or flat press.
Smith me. I'll let you start this one.
For the reason of just safety, so I'm going to give it a C. The only reason I'm not going to give it either an A or a B is simply because of the limited range of motion.
I'm giving it a C. I don't enjoy this exercise much, and for me, I don't like the way it forces me to push in the line that it's actually dictated to do so. I don't have that free ability to move the weight where I want.
Okay, so they both gave that the Smith machine bench press, they both gave that a C. I would probably say a little bit higher. I don't think it's as good as the barbell. I really agree with Greg on this one, where it doesn't feel as good, where you can't move the bar where you want to. So I would give it a B though, because I feel like you can target the chest better. And Erick also said it is safer, but I do think a barbell is probably slightly better, but just because the Smith machine does feel a bit awkward. But I do think if you can get good at it, you can target the chest better, because there's less stabilization that's going to have to happen. So if you like this exercise, I'd say go for it. They don't like it, so don't have to do it, and that's how it works.
Let's go the pec deck fly. So machine fly is kind of the colloquial term.
Honestly, I'm gonna give it a B+ rating. It's not And this is why I love lifting heavier weights. I want to feel that weight in my hands. I want to know that I'm lifting heavy. When I'm doing a crossover or anything, I just don't think it's building as much muscle because it's not as heavy of a weight.
All right, and here we go. Now's where my time to disagree. I don't think the reason that, because it's not as heavy, it's not going to build as much muscle. I mean, maybe it doesn't feel good for Greg, like the normal machine pec deck, which I can totally, if it doesn't feel good, then don't do it. But I actually would argue it would build more because I feel like you can stretch your pecs more, and we know that the stretch position is more conducive to hypertrophy, whereas on a bench press, the bar will stop the bench and your pecs from getting fully stretched. So, would disagree on this one. I'd probably give this one an A- because I think I like the cable machine a little more, but still great exercise for me. Sorry guys, just had to interrupt this video, which I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was actually doing my cardio this whole time while filming. Just finished it right there, some zone 2 stuff. Make sure to get in your cardio, 150 minutes a week. Back to the video.
I'm going to give this one an A-. I think flies are an extremely powerful movement pattern for building bigger pecs, more voluminous pecs. There's a few reasons for that. One, you're putting your pecs on an island. Pressing, you can utilize your lats, your triceps, your front delt. There's a lot of ancillary movers in a pressing movement.
He said it beautifully there, right with you there, Erick, Janicki. And he brought up a point that I didn't even mention. That's right. When you do those flies, you're putting your pecs on an island. But he couldn't have said it better. Just perfect, 100 on you. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I stack out the machine and I will get a 6-second negative. I will milk that stretch. I'll get that stretch mediated hypertrophy. I will open up. I will hold that lengthened position for 2 seconds with the whole stack on a pec deck fly. 300 pounds.
And again, I have to agree with him there too. There's no reason why you can't really go heavy on those movements. I think you absolutely can, as long as you're using good control, you have a nice negative, and you're getting in a deep stretch, and you contract well, and if you're using good form, no reason why you can't go heavy.
Cable flies. So just to clarify, this can be different angles. You can do kind of like more mid-chest cable fly, but just cable flies in general, what do you feel about them?
I'm going to give it a B. I think any kind of fly movement, I'm just going to have it slightly below something like the bench press, which I just love so much. It's so easy to progressive overload on. I don't feel that you can get as much muscle development on these isolation exercises as much as you can during these big compound lifts.
A+++, cable flies. I think cable flies are an A+ chest movement.
Yes. Sorry, Greg Doucette, but I gotta disagree with you on this one. I love you, man. But Erick, mwah, beautiful. Love it. A++, cable chest flies. I love it. I like doing them seated. You get a huge stretch. And I like it more than the traditional pec deck because your arms can kind of freely move, get a really deep stretch, which is, we all know, stretch position, more muscle growth in that stretch position. Greg Doucette, he likes his bench press, but me and Erick, we got them cable flies. Definitely my #1 exercise for growing a big chest. Do your cable flies, isolate those bad boys, and grow a bigger chest.
The dumbbell, either flat, incline, or decline press. There's dumbbell pressing in general.
Dumbbells, I'm going to have to give it a B rating because I don't, again, it's a slight bias. I don't like it as much. I find it much more easy to get injured. When I did dumbbells, I found it extremely difficult to get the weights in place. With the amount of weight I could lift, I could probably have done 200-pound dumbbells. I can't get those in place. I could lift a lot of weight. And so, do I really want to get injured? Do I want to tear a bicep? And it hurts my shoulder.
Okay, so on this one, I kind of have to agree with what Greg is saying for the simple fact that because I guess he's so strong, it would be really difficult to get those weights in place if, like, you didn't have a gym buddy or somebody helping you. But for me, because I'm not that strong, it's very easy. You know, I can get the 50s in place and, you know, press them up. I don't really have any shoulder pain. So I would give this one, I would honestly prefer this to the bench press because you can get a little bit deeper because the bar won't stop. So again, A+ exercise for me. But of course, for him and for what his shoes, not as good, and that's okay because everyone's built different. But honestly, every exercise they've listed, I've loved. I mean, they haven't listed any mediocre other than the Smith machine press a little bit, but everything else I've really liked. So yeah, great exercise for me.
I'm gonna give dumbbell pressing a B+. I think that the reason is because ergonomically you can move your hands in whatever way that feels the most comfortable for you. So like unlike a barbell or a Smith machine, you're stuck here. You can rotate, you can come here. It allows you, everybody's built a little differently and has different levels of mobility.
And so Eric also giving this at 1 a pretty solid rating, B+, not too bad. I've personally never had an issue with like, I honestly like flaring my elbows out a little bit. I don't know, that just feels good to me. I feel like when I tuck them in a little more, I don't know. I guess, well, like he was saying, everyone has different ranges of mobility. We're all built different. But I mean, I've never really had a problem with the barbell bench press. Where it's like my shoulder hurts because of the way that it's rotated, but maybe he does. I'm sure, you know, some people must. So I can agree with him on that it definitely does give you that free range. For me, why I think it's slightly better is just the fact that you can go deeper, but again, solid points all around.
The traditional body weight push-up for chest growth. I know a lot of people wake up and they're like, I'm going to do 100 push-ups in the morning. What do you think about push-ups for chest growth?
I really have to say that this is a great exercise for a beginner, not a great exercise for somebody who's in advance. So I'm going to overall give it a C. And I think I'm biased because I can do so many push-ups. I think it's great to get you into the gym to start. Anyone can do them at home. But if you're a strong person, if you've been training for a while, push-ups are probably going to be far too easy.
The exercise, I think that there's so many better exercises to utilize your time. Sure, you could do like maybe a deficit push-up with tempo. The reason I'm giving it a D from an actual scientific perspective is range of motion. It's a little shorter than I'd like to see. You're going to be limited by obviously the floor. The other thing is a lot of times people will push up with their triceps more than their chest.
Yeah, so I kind of got to agree with both of them on this one. I'd probably go a C- here. I'd probably meet them in the middle. I think it can be an A exercise for you if you're a beginner, but once you're getting into that intermediate advanced stage, it's hard to progressive overload on them because you can probably do so many reps, and it's going to be a lot harder to get to failure on them, which means not as much muscle growth, so not as good. They're good if you're just starting out, but if you're advanced, I wouldn't really waste your time with them. I think you can benefit a lot more from like a dumbbell or a barbell bench press. But that is going to do it, guys. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know on your thoughts on these exercises, and if you want to see some more reaction content, what I thought of these guys. Obviously, these two, Erick Janicki and Greg Doucette, huge inspiration for me. I love these guys. They are amazing. Their channels will be linked in the description. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more of this, and if you have not already, please subscribe. We are on the road to 400 subscribers, and if you like the video, if you made it this far, I would think you liked it. But with that, I will see you in the next one. Peace.